Now, based on your country's situation, really we have an exact policy, the right policy based on agriculture, but at this time, just before 2.5 years, my government designed growth and transformational plan. Now it is five-year growth and transformational plan. It is focused on productivity. But after this 5-year plan, really the ground be fertile for the industrialization. The agriculture can leave the place for the industrialization. But that means it doesn't mean that we will ignore the agricultural part, because we can get a lot of outputs from the agricultural center.
Now you are the president of Ethiopia outside Ethiopia. Now, how attractive, how welcoming is the policy of government to foreign investors?
Really, Ethiopian government policy is, especially particularly on foreign direct investment, it is suitable, it is conducive. One is we have a good legal base. The other is we have a fertile land. We have 9 rivers, 9 rivers, which is suitable for hydropower. From these rivers, the capacity of the rivers can produce 45,000 megawatt of electricity. We are 13 months of sunshine country. This can suitable for solar energy. Also, we have a biomass. From wind energy, Ethiopia's plan to produce around 5,000 megawatts. We have these all resources. We have coffee. Ethiopia is known by Arabican coffee. We gave this Arabican coffee to the world. Now, it's suitable. Also, this can, you see, at this time we have a lot of investors from Western and Eastern countries, from Middle East, because of the suitability. One, for the market. Ethiopia is based on the route cross to Africa, Middle East, and Asia. For the investors, this is a good market. The other is the population of Ethiopia. Ethiopian population have a capacity to consume. Even there is a, if you produce a Coca-Cola, from this 84 billion people, if 1/4 of the population can consume Coca-Cola, that company can get a lot of profit from this, even the population. Also, we have a manpower for their factory. It is not like that Ethiopian. It is. I want to say cheap. It is cheap. This is another conducive environment.
Well, Your Excellency, would you want to agree with me that some of the things you are saying now, they appear so new to most of us, because the way people see Ethiopia is like, oh, it's not a place to be, it's not, conducive. But what you are saying now is quite interesting. Is it that Ethiopians are not really coming out to tell the world, this is what we have, this is how we can do it, how we can make it better? Yes,
you see, this is not only on saying. Practically, we have a lot of investors in Ethiopia. From USA, from Britain, from China, from India, from Middle East, from Turkey, on textile area, also from Canada. We have a lot of investors at this time in Ethiopia. That can show Ethiopia is a suitable place for foreign investment. Also, Ethiopia, we have a good infrastructure. Ethiopia allocates 70% of its budget for infrastructure.
Wow.
Infrastructure is a good base for the investment, for the development of the country, for the economic growth. Yeah, 70%.
What is the relationship of Ethiopia with other neighboring countries within the eastern sub-region? Kenya, Eritrea, I think, are you still close to Angola?
No, Eritrea, Sudan, Somalia, Kenya, Uganda.
Hey, you are surrounded by war-torn countries.
You see, we have a good relation for our neighbors. About Eritrea, I don't want to talk a lot. You know that.
Okay.
With Eritreans, between the people, we don't have any problem. The problem is from the region. With other countries, we have a good relation. Ethiopia is playing a major role for the stability of Horn of Africa. As you know that our late Prime Minister, he is an advocate of Africa, not only for Ethiopia, not only for East Africa. He is a man of Africa. He is not talking only about Ethiopian benefit. He's talking about the benefit of Africa. He's talking about as one as
united Africa,
as AU, not as Ethiopia. Now we have a good relation. Ethiopia is participating in the conflict of Sudan to mediate, also in Somalia. And now we have a good relation with all of our neighboring countries. The other thing is, at this time we have in a good position in hydroelectric power. We can give electricity for Djibouti.
Wow.
Yeah, and there is a building of a railroad from from Ethiopia to Kenya. That can help for the trade relation, for the brotherhood relation, for our economic development. Also, we have a plan to share our resources with our neighbors.
The country has planned to share
yeah.
resources with neighbors?
Yes, our electricity. Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Well, I've been speaking with Excellency Ambassador Gifti Abasiya, the ambassador from Federal Democratic Republic of Ethiopia, right here in Ghana, and she's been telling us so many things that we all need to know about Ethiopia. Ethiopia becomes my focus today because this is the moment we are celebrating African Union, and Ethiopia is the seat of African Union. So we got to know more about where we all go to sit. You come from the northern part of Africa, southern, eastern, and western. We all converge in Ethiopia. So Ethiopia is more or less the capital of Africa. I go for this short break, and when I return, I will still continue with my guest, Excellency Gifti Abasiya. Well, welcome back from that short word on marble. I still have Excellency Ambassador Gifti Abasiya right with me in the studio, all the way from the Federal Democratic Republic of Ethiopia, but is based in Ghana as the ambassador, you know. Yes, she mentioned that Ethiopia is now willing to share air resources with other neighboring countries. That's quite interesting. Now let's take a look at African Union. Addis Ababa has been the seat of AU, for years. And incidentally, from the story you have just told now, the building African Union uses now as its building was a former prison where Your Excellency was imprisoned. Now, as AU being as Addis Ababa being the seat of AU, has it really helped the country in any way? Has it had any effect on the diplomatic relationship of Ethiopia with some other African countries?
Exactly, it helps a lot. As Ethiopian capital city, Addis Ababa is a city of AU and United Nations Economic Commission for Africa. It has a nickname that as given a nickname as a diplomatic capital.
Wow.
Not only Ethiopian capital city. This nickname is really exactly the right name. We all Ethiopians, we feel that Addis Ababa is not only our capital city. It is African Brothers' capital city.
So I was right when I said it's the capital of Africa.
A capital of Africa, you are right.
Wow.
So we benefit a lot.
Okay.
As you know, in history, Ethiopia is played a big role in Pan-Africanism and to establish African Union. As that, to bring African Union together. At that time, there are two blocks, Casablanca and Monrovia. To bring these groups together, Ethiopia and the Ethiopian ministers, they played a major role. After that also, Ethiopia is participating in African OAU and AU. This is also, it brings us together as a brotherhood. It strengthens African relationship, African states relationship, African's brotherhoodness. The other thing is, as you see, there are a different diplomats in Addis to show them that this is their country. Ethiopia, you know that we celebrated our millennium before 5 years. Ethiopian millennium is Ethiopian calendar is different from Gregorian calendar. We have back in 8 years. In 2000, before 5 years, we celebrated our millennium. Now, at that time, Ethiopia gives 2,000 square meter land for free for African ambassadors who are settled in Addis.
Wow.
2,000 square meter each, for each embassies, African embassies who settled in Addis.
Wow.
Because Addis is the capital city of Africa, as you say, to show that, to show our brotherhoodness.
Have they all utilized the land?
I think so, I think.
Wow, 2,000
2,000 acres for each embassy. Also your embassy, Nigerian embassy in Ethiopia, Ghanaian embassy in Ethiopia, they
that's interesting.
Get 2,000 hectares in Addis, in capital city of Africa.
The capital city of Africa, not the capital city of Ethiopia.
Yeah.
Now, but
the other thing is we benefit from that because we have a development in hotels. When the African states came for a meeting in Addis, they should have a suitable hotel. We have a lot of 5-star hotels. We can get from that a benefit. The owners of the hotels, they get a benefit from that.
Yeah,
also, it can strengthen our diplomatic relation also.
I think Ethiopia is now the home of unity for Africa, where you bring all African leaders together. But has that also helped in the development of infrastructural development of Ethiopia?
You see, infrastructure, it has grown in Ethiopia. I told you, Ethiopia has allocated 70% of its budgets. Also, the embassies, they can build their residence, they can build their chancery. This can bring a development in the infrastructure.
I see.
The other thing is the money we get from the remittance. Because every embassy, they have a remittance from their country. That remittance can bring us a foreign exchange. With that foreign exchange, also we can buy construction materials from outside and other development instruments from outside. That can help us. Also, it can help us in transformation of technology.
How strong is the currency? Ethiopian currency?
Ethiopian currency is it is in a good position at this time, but not that much strong.
Okay.
It is half of Ghanaian currency.
Wow, half of Ghanaian currency.
Yeah.
Wow, that's interesting. Now, you're celebrating...
Less. I said half, less, by half.
Oh, that's serious. Now, you're celebrating your day. Ethiopian Day. Who colonized Ethiopia?
Nobody.
Then what are you celebrating? How did you know what to celebrate?
Nobody colonized Ethiopia, but Ethiopia is conquered by Italian troops.
Okay.
Never colonized. We have 2 times with Italian troops, 2 times war.